We're going over ST27. Alright you guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here with more quality content. We're going to cover ST27 today, and we're going to show you a constructed deck for Blackbeard, and we're going to talk about how it is in the meta, and we're going to showcase the cards. And as always you guys, we're nearing the 1,000 count on the subs, so please remember to subscribe. We want to get to that 1,000, and then we can push on from there. So please you guys, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to press that button. We would appreciate it deeply, and we're going to be giving you more quality content. Alright, so you guys, so today we're showcasing the Marshall.D.Teach leader. It's the alt art. Okay, let's get into the deck profile, right? Alright, so you guys, we're going to start off with the new SRs from the deck, which is Marshall.D.Teach, the 7-drop, which acts kind of as a, I believe it's King from set 8. That's very similar card, I think the same one, same effect, except the draw. But you may rest this character, KO up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less, and then on KO, add up to 1 Blackbeard, add up to 1 black card from your trash to your hand. So really good card. It's a floater, and it being adding up to 1 black card means you can add back your, we'll get into that, obviously, your Tempest Cake or your Finger Pistol. So just adds that dimension deck that the deck didn't have a big body on the 7 curve, and then now you can pop a card and then it's a floater too. So a really good dimension deck. Overall, the card's like an 8 out of 10. The card's just really strong. And then we have the Kuzan blocker, which helps you bring back your Jesus Burgess and your Kuzan, of course, if you have your Kuzan in rotation. So they work hand in hand. So the blocker and the activate main, it says you, for those who don't know this card already, it's already from OP 10. This character cannot be removed from field by your opponent's effects, so really good card overall. And then activate main, you may trash this character, draw 1 card, then play up to 1 Blackbeard type character with a cost of 5 or less, other than Kuzan from your trash. So just like I said, you can revive the Kuzan and then next turn do some nice shenanigans with it. So again, this blocker just adds a lot of dimension to the deck. Being a 6/6 blocker, that on KO play up to 1 Blackbeard type character with a cost of 5 or less from your trash rested. So a blocker that has recursion. And it's really what a big dimension that the deck needed. And then because it had no good blockers other than the 10-drop. So and then we have the Catarina Devon, which she's a great 1-drop 2K counter. And for just 1 energy, she's a -1 reduction. So let's say, for example, you have Stronger and her, that's a -3 on the reduction, so on cost. So it just makes it easier not to pop cards. So this is a 2K that I'd take it. I'm not gonna take it for granted. That card's just really good for what you're trying to do. And then we get into the basics, the cookie cutter stuff, which how the deck kind of still is gonna be, which is the 4 Kuzans and the 4 10-drops. So remember, we do have a lot of non-counter in this deck, so keep that in mind. And of course, it's because you want to get to multiple 10-drops, and that should keep you safe for a while. So remember, you guys, there isn't a lot of counter in this deck, so keep that in mind when you're playing. This deck plays in a style to where you're kind of guarding your life, but not too scared to give it away because you have the 10-drop, and back-to-back 10-drops will guard your life. So, but keep in mind, you don't want to go down to 0, of course. So that's why we play 8 2Ks and not 10, which is kind of like maybe what you should be playing, maybe, but then you will lose a lot of the control the deck's trying to do. So 4 full heads, you could go ahead, like I said, cut 1 and put a 2K. And then, you know, and then we'll go to another card you can probably cut to do a 2K. But this is just consistency, and you need to open this card to start playing the game. So it's the main card of the deck. Like full head is, Fullalead is a big part of the deck. Stronger, which is the best 2K because it's a -2 reduction, so it's really good in that regard. 3 Laffitte Searcher. It's a searcher of the deck alongside your besides the field spot and the My Era Begins. So My Era Begins is a way to get your trash going for Tempest Kick, which we'll get into. But My Era Begins is just a really important part of the deck just because it gets that trash loaded, and that's crucial for Burgess and it's crucial for Tempest Kick. So in the Laffitte, if you can get 2 of these online early game, sometimes it's annoying for your opponent. But you don't want to brick on these. You don't want to see a lot of these late game. You won't have the Dawn to be able to play Laffitte's late game. You just won't. You can cut it to 2. A lot of people play 2. Just late game, you will not have. You literally just will not be able to cast 2 Dawn to use 2 Dawn to play this creature. And then you have the 2 Tempest kicks. You could bump this to 3. The deck needs reduction, and it's the best reduction card left in the game because Ice Age is banned. So keep that in mind. You could play 3 of this. I would say play 3 if you can fit it in there. Great card overall. When you hit the 10 in the trash, you draw a card, -3 reduction. Great synergy with the new Teach. And then 3 Finger Pistols. I'm iffy about this card. I don't like it. I am a strong believer in this game. If you are not casting a creature to pop a card, you're probably losing and you're gonna go neg. So that's what I believe in. For Jesus Burgess, pretty much a lot of people say this is the best card in the deck overall. What the deck's trying to do is establish this because at the end of the day, you're gonna drop a 4 body that can essentially be like an 8K creature, 9K creature. So it's like crazy, and it can be popped. So it's a stupid card. So honestly, if the deck gets out of control and it gets broken one day, which I doubt, but crazy card. And then the 4-man Augur, this card is just essential with the Doc Q. If you can get both of these online, you're going to be popping a lot and you're going to be drawing a lot because when they are KO'd, you draw a card on each of them. So he's a rest -3, and he's a rest pop of 1 or less. So broken cards in conjunction with themselves and also with the Tempest kick. So like I said, if you can't fit in the third Tempest kick, it would help. And the leader, like I said, you are negating on-play effects, so your life is not going to be as targeted as it would in another deck, unless your opponent's trying to do rush. Of course, that's going to hurt you. But like I said, you can fit in keynotes. I want to say is you can fit into two 2Ks and you can fit in the third Tempest kick somehow if you want to cut the Van Augur to 3, or you want to cut you can even cut Burgess. Like a lot of stuff is searchable, and you don't want to clunk. You don't want to clunk or clog on certain cards. So keep that in mind when you're building the deck. Play around with it. I think it's one of the strongest decks in the game just because it cuts off a certain strategy of the game, which is on play, which 90% of decks have on play creatures. So keep that in mind. The leader is the key reason why we play the deck. So keep that in mind. Don't get too straight for just popping, because the leader is the main selling point. But yes, if you can consistently pop and keep resources and keep life in control, it's the best deck in the game. But that is hard to do because you're turning off on plays. Your opponent can't summon creatures, and all they can really do is swing at your life, which is, it could be toxic sometimes for your opponent. But that's that, you guys. That's the deck with the new cards. If you guys have any comments, any questions, anything you want to tell me about the deck, any cards you you think I should include in the deck, or any opinions, feel free to voice it out in the comments. This is technically a max rarity deck. Bandai didn't make stuff in any crazy rarities. We have the Kuzans out, and we have the Teachers and Wanted poster, not manga, so please don't make fun of me in the comments. I know people like to make fun of me when decks are maxed out. Trust me, it hurts me as much as it hurts you guys. I'm a max rarity fiend. I get made fun of it every day when a deck isn't fully maxed. So, but yeah. So you guys, if you haven't subbed, make sure to subscribe, and I appreciate you guys if you stuck throughout the video and got to this point, so thank you.